Good afternoon, everybody. This is Grant Kaplan speaking. As you can see, I'm here, large as life, reporting in once again to everybody. As you may or may not know, we have an immigration law office based in Florida in the United States. We have 4 attorneys, we have 14 paralegals, all burrowing away, working diligently on visas and green cards for the United States. We cover the full spectrum of immigration, but we focus typically on business-related visas. However, of course, the paralegals here and some of the attorneys will also assist with any kinds of cases you may have. If you're married to a United States citizen, you're engaged to a United States citizen, you have an asylum case, you have a removal case. In the unfortunate event, you may have a criminal conviction of any kind, or you may have transgressed the terms of your green card. Anything like that, we are the guys to assist you. I'm going to give you our details, and I'm going to continue to give you our information as we go along. My name, Grant Kaplan, the law office of Grant Kaplan, based in Florida. Telephone number +1 561 347 8440, and you can like us on Facebook, US Visas and Green Cards, and you can go online to usvisasandgreencards.com. I hope that's been updated. I'm speaking to my man Mr. Kevin because we were in Africa recently, and when people signed up there, that was automatically for the trip to Africa, so I hope that's signed up. But in any event, you'll find a sheet to complete, a short intake form to complete and to send it back. Please remember also, when you're online, I'm going to be checking to see how we're going, and we can see all the likes, and please give us your comments, and we can proceed from there to relate back to you. This is very much an interactive process, and certainly we'll go and we'll have a look and see as we go along. I see myself over there, that's great. I see Linda, Kayla, others have sent us likes as well, Rosanna, Pappy, and so on. Thanks very much. Please keep them coming. We'll take anything except a middle finger from you guys. Any loves, any likes, any comments that you may have, any questions that you may have at any time, by all means, please have a look, and we can proceed to go from there. So today we're going to be talking about the developments which have come to pass over the last couple of months in immigration. We're going to talk specifically about business-related visas, and more particularly about L1 visas, which are intra-company transfer visas, and about EB-5 visas, which are intra-company, investor visas, where you'll be required to invest $500,000 in what is known as a regional center. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this, and again, please remember, contact us at the telephone number +1 561 347 8440, and I can also give you my private email address, grant@gkaplanlaw.com. So grant@gkaplanlaw.com. And if all of you guys can hear me, I hope you can, and if you can see me, please send us comments, send us any kind of interaction so that we know that you're watching. I see the guys, the numbers are continuing to climb. Somebody's asking about, Mr. Torres is asking about processing fees. Obviously that depends on the kind of visa that we're filing for. There's attorney's fees, and there's also typically government filing fees as well. So depending upon the filing that you're looking at, for an L1 visa, an intra-company transfer visa, for example, filing fees are $960. For EB-5 visas, usually $3,700, something like that. That's the government filing fees. Of course, that's not attorney's fees. So let us talk now about EB-5 visas. The EB-5 is a particular program that's been open since the 1990s to allow investors to come and invest in the United States. There's typically 2 kinds of EB-5 visa applications. The first is a direct EB-5 visa application, where as an investor you're required to invest in your own business or a business that you have an active interest in, and in that regard you also need to show that the investment that you're putting in is going directly into your business, if it's a new business, or if it's going into an existing business, you need to show that the investment that you make in that business is going to be, the turnover is going to be increased over the next 2 years by 40%, and you need to show that you have increased the number of employees by 10. Most people don't invest in their own businesses, and typically 80 to 90% of the clients that we see, and the clients nationally in other firms, would invest passively in what is known as a regional center. A regional center is nothing other than an entity which has got permission from the Immigration Service to take investors to come and invest in their particular programs. These are companies and other entities that allow investors to come and invest. Most of them are property-based companies, property development, hotel development, that sort of thing. To give you a quick example, let's say a regional center wants to raise $30 million. Typically, they'll take 60 investors at $500,000 each as passive investors to come and invest. The money needs to sit with the regional center for 5 years, and in the meantime, once the money is sitting with the regional center, we can immediately file the EB-5 petition for you, your spouse if you're married, and for any kids under 21 who at the time of filing are under 21. So even though the kids may subsequently turn 21, during this process, their age would still be reserved under the provisions of the Child Status Protection Act. So the regional centers typically will guarantee the funds for the period that the EB-5 petition is in place. So, and of course, you want to look to invest with regional centers that offer this program for you. Typically, we will only work with regional centers that have got a 100% track record in their history, so that everyone has got their money back at the time that they're supposed to get their money back. Everyone has got their conditional green cards, their permanent green cards. So, of course, we work with about 6 or 8 regional centers. But, of course, you can invest in any one of the 600 programs that you wish to. It's a great investment because, unfortunately, not from a financial point of view, because you'll only get 1 to 2% typically during the 5-year period. But if you invest correctly with one of these regional centers, you should get your funds back. You may make 1-2% in interest, but of course you'll get the green cards, and that's really what it's all about. So it's the most hassle-free way to get a green card nowadays, that's for sure, because all we need to do is to show that your funds, the $500,000, come from a legitimate source. Secondly, that you have no particular issues with immigration or criminal. And thirdly, that the regional center, of course, has approval for their regional center program, and they bring all the information to us, and we file that. So just a word of caution. The new developments in regard to the EB-5 program are that on 21st November of this year, the investment amount required is going up from $500,000 to $900,000. So that's almost double. And of course, that has a significant impact on potential investors. So there's no financial good reason why, if you have $500,000 or even $900,000, you put up the $900,000 rather than $500,000. It certainly makes no financial sense at all. So if anyone watching this or anyone you know is possibly interested in the EB-5 program, now is the time to act, because we need to get that in place. We need to file this before November 21, 2019. In other words, your funds need to be with the regional center. We need to have filed everything with the Immigration Service prior to that time. So now is the time to act. There's probably a month or 6 weeks worth of work that needs to be done on these at least. That's a substantial amount of work that has to be done. And of course, we need to get to work as soon as possible. So please contact us. Again, our telephone number +1 561 347 8440, and you can go to my email address grant@gkaplanlaw.com, and you can simply go to usvisasandgreencards.com. I think Kevin does need to do some updating of that, and he's now given me his undertaking. Everyone has heard that he has promised to do this, so we need to get that going as soon as possible. Just on a side note, I'd like to know where you guys are watching from, so please just send in a quick note to say you're from South Africa, or you're from India, or wherever else it may be, and we'll be able to look. I see that Adu is calling, is tuning in from Nigeria, and he wants to know if the visa is refused, does he get a refund of part of his processing fees? Not sure which visa you're referring to, but typically there's no refund of any filing fees from the government. Once you've filed whatever you've had to file, they will not refund you. So certainly that's something that you need to consider. And if everything is filed correctly, hopefully your application should, if it has merit, should be successful. That's yet another reason to work with an attorney. You typically should not file anything without attorneys, that's for sure. And as I've indicated earlier, we are more than happy to assist you. We will file anything as long as we believe it has merit. And of course we have checklists and templates for everything, so certainly we'll be able to look after that. So again, the EB-5 program is not going to go on in its present format for too much longer. So certainly if you're watching and you believe you may be in the market, now is the time to act. If you're from certain countries, namely China, India, Vietnam, these countries are already retrogressed in terms of the numbers of applicants that can apply. So certainly they backlogged a number of years, but for most other countries they're still open, and you can certainly file immediately. So in order to file for an EB-5 visa, you need to show, of course, that you're a fit and proper person, that you have no convictions, that you have no immigration transgressions, that the $500,000 that you intend to invest is coming from a legitimate source. It is possible to borrow the money. It is possible to be gifted the money. So we have many clients who themselves may not be interested or able to come to the United States, but they typically would gift or loan to their kids the money, and the children who may be in the United States on a student visa or any other visa, or not even yet in the United States, can come in to the United States with a green card. And certainly that is the way to proceed. Current processing times at this stage for most regional centers between 12 to 18 months. There is one regional center that has got expedited permission to have these things approved, the EB-5 petitions approved in a couple of months, and certainly we can put you in touch with those as well. So the EB-5 is a great program. As I've indicated, 21st November is the deadline for the number to be increased. So now is the time to act. It's not necessary that you have the funds in hand at this very moment. Of course, many people still have to borrow or to sell property or to mortgage property or to do whatever it is. As long as the money is with the regional center and we're able to file before November 21, that is the time at which we need to proceed. So let's have a look and see. Fatima is saying that she's tried and been refused an entry visa. Presumably that's for a tourist visa. We're not specifically discussing that today, Fatima, but certainly for any kind of tourist visa at the consulate, certainly we can help you prepare a package for the consulate. Ideally they want to know that you've got ties to your home country, that you've got a proper itinerary for when you travel to the United States, and that you're going to be returning. So the immigration will wish to see all of that. All right, I see there's some guys signing in from South Africa and from various other places. Hello everyone. Please continue to send the likes to us and any other comments that you may have. So the EB-5 we've discussed. I've also given you our contact details. I'm going to give that again to you. Telephone +1 561 347 8440, and my email address grant@gkaplanlaw.com. I want to talk briefly now about L1 visas. L1 visas are intra-company transfer visas. So if you or your family has a business, a company in your country, and that business is at least 2 years old, is a viable business with sufficient turnover, with employees, and is trading on a sound footing, we can take that company and we can set up a branch or subsidiary of that entity here in the United States and have you transferred across as a representative of that business to come into the United States, to come and set up a branch or subsidiary of that entity, and to come and live and work in the United States. So the idea is that if you've been a manager, and you don't need to own the business, but if you've been a manager in that business, or an executive, or an owner in that business for at least 1 year in the last 3 years, we can take that entity, have you transferred across to the United States to set up and operate the business in the United States, and you can come in and expand that business or buy another business. Anything like that will do. I've been told by Kevin that I need to smile, so now I'm smiling. We can set up that business in the United States, have you guys transferred across, and in so doing you can expand the business, buy another business, anything of that kind will do. The South African or other entity that you own needs to have at least 51% of the United States company, and you can come in and operate the business. You do not need to be in the same business in the United States. You could be in an unrelated business. Typically you're given a year to set up and operate, and by the end of the first year the immigration service will want to know that you've done what you said you're going to be doing, namely to set up and operate a business, to start employing some people, to have some turnover, to do all the things that you have to undertaken to do. And immigration typically will give you extensions of 2 years at a time. At any time after the first year, once your US business is deemed to be viable and doesn't require funding from the foreign entity any longer, we can file for a green card for you and the family. Certainly the United States, as Kevin is indicating, is still the land of opportunity. The unemployment is at a historical low. Business is booming in many areas, whereas in most other parts of the world things are looking very gloomy, and certainly this is the place to be. Everyone is accepting, or typically everyone should be accepting in the United States. Doesn't matter where you come from. If you've got the goods, you're coming to trade, and you've made money in your home country, and you have a positive attitude, there is no reason why you should not be successful in the United States. We deal with clients every day from all over the world, and everyone typically, if they have the right attitude, they have the right mental fortitude, they have business acumen, they know what they're doing, certainly, and are optimistic, this certainly seems to me to be the place where you would want you or your kids to be in the future. And that is why everyone in the world, where you would give them a choice, ideally the United States should be in the first 2 or 3 with justifiable reason. So after having raised the flag behind me for the United States, it's really up to you guys now, and I'll be happy to help you and to discuss these and any other opportunities. There are a whole number of other opportunities for citizens of certain countries. There are E2 visas for European citizens and various others to come in and invest $100,000 in the United States, and certainly that's possible. Daniel from Nigeria says, is he eligible to apply? Certainly anyone from anywhere is eligible to apply for these and most other visas. If you have the investment or you have a business, certainly those would seem to be the most opportune visas to apply for. And certainly you can contact us by email or by telephone. Again, the telephone number +1 561 347 8440, and my email address grant@gkaplanlaw.com, and you can go to usvisasandgreencards.com, and Kevin will very shortly amend that site to accommodate the current inquiries. Also, we can help you set up a corporation here in the United States. We can help you with business plans. We can even assist at some points to help with corporate bank accounts. So we can do all of these things for you, and we try and style ourselves as a one-stop shop so that with as little hassle as possible, we can try and assist you and get you sorted out. So again, I'm looking forward to helping you, and we can certainly see how we come along. Somebody's asking, how does one get a passport? Certainly the visas that I've mentioned to you will ultimately lead to US permanent residence and then to US citizenship after a while. We also have in our office Gail, who's our office manager. She can assist you with school records, with schooling, insurance, with anything else that you may require. So certainly, again, as part of the service that we offer you, we can go ahead. And I'm going to ask Gail and Sashi, our watchdog, to come in and pop in and say hello to everybody. So there's Sashi. Sashi, say hello. Kevin, say hello to Sashi. There's Sashi. And there's Gail, our office manager, saying hello to you guys.
Hello,
Sashi's our ferocious watchdog. So certainly we'll be able to help you guys, and we look forward to hearing from you and to proceeding from there. Thanks very much, guys. Looking forward to hearing from you.